Now the question is, what do we need to drive that? What do we need to drive our 100,000? You've heard me talk about activity and result metric, right? But what input metric and output metric is really just the idea that, in order for us to get to our goals and the outputs, we have to put something in, the inputs, the activity, right? And then we're always driving something. So for example, a revenue of 100,000, right? So then the question is, what's the profit on that? So then now you're like, okay, I got to do 50%. And then that's your balancing metric, right? Because you can go out and make $100,000, but then you can lose it. You can spend 120 to get it, right? So then now you have a balancing metric, right? You have your result metric or your output metric, and then you have a balancing metric, right, of 50%. Now the question is, what do we need to drive that? What do we need to drive our 100,000? More sales, right? So then you want to say, hey, I want additional sales, right? And then 100,000, let's say each client is $5,000, right? So then you probably need 50 of them. So then now you have a driver, right? I need the number of sales, and then I have a driver for that, right? So then now you say, okay, cool. In order for sales, I need a conversion rate, right? So for every 10 people you talk to, how many do you sell? At least 3, okay? So you have a conversion rate of 30%. That's 66 people that we have to talk to, right? So 66 people that I talk to, that's your input metric now to your additional sales to 100,000, right? So how are you gonna find 66 people to talk to? And how many people that come to your ad, will want to talk to you? Now we need 6,600 traffic to that ad. Right. So you see what we're doing? We're breaking it down and we keep driving. So all of these are essentially we're trying to get from. So all of your 6,600 is an input metric, right? And then the people that you talk to is another input metric, and then it eventually gets down to your goal. So once you have this entire thing filled out, then you can look at it on a month-to-month basis and see where you're having issues. Let's say 6,600 people did come, but 66 people didn't want to talk to you, right? Then you either have to increase that 6,600 numbers, or you might have to change your call to action. Maybe it's not enticing enough, right? Let's say 66 people did talk to you, but we didn't make the 20 sale. Now you're gonna have to say, well, maybe I have to work on my sales script, right? Maybe it's the conversation that people are not liking. Right? So then now you see you're really focused. As soon as you identify your input and output metric and how this entire system flow, it keeps you really focused to only work on the one thing that can help you get to the next step, get to the next step, get to the next step. Because otherwise, $100,000, that's hard, man. That's hard. Like if you just put that out there, it's so hard to achieve, and people feel like, it's impossible, and you just get frustrated. But as soon as you break that down, it makes it easier. It doesn't make it easy, it makes it easier.